Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wizzo Talk. Appreciate everyone tapping on in. And as always, I would like to thank my subscribers for their support. Shit, I got tangled up and twisted up on my words trying to look at my notes and shit. So, but anyway, like to thank my subscribers for all their support. Welcome to Barbershop Talk, episode 5, cutting up the conversation. We're gonna go around the room. We're gonna meet our guests, and then we're gonna get this thing chopping on up. Seven, what you got?
Yo, it's your boy 7 Points of Bliss, aka Pomegranate Samurai. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to be here yet again. You can check me out on Spotify under Cosmic Currency 777. You can check Wizzo out on Spotify as well. Man, you can check me out. Just Google After Real Truth, all one word. You can peep out my art, my clothing brand, my comic book, and man, it's like I said, it's an honor to be here with you gentlemen yet again. Man, let's cook it up.
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Jack, what you got for man?
Hey, good evening. How y'all doing? I go by Jack. Last name Jackson. No military background, so you know how we get stuck in
Hey,
that road. Stuck in that road with the last names. Did 20 years in the military. 10 years in law enforcement. I'm kind of new to the social media podcast space, but so I was saying before we got on camera, man, I like to engage with brothers in serious conversation. A lot of times we get caught up in the polarizing stuff, but don't want to adjust the real stuff that affects us as men, especially, and then as a community as a whole. So I have no big platform yet, but hopefully this will get the door open for me. So it's a pleasure to be here with you, brothers, and hopefully we can have some good talk tonight.
All right, that's what's up. What's up? OB, what you got for us?
Hey man, I'm so happy as always to be here. RVP Baker, your favorite All-American, and Jack, you just did my heart a big plus because I too, 20-year veteran, jumped out of planes, helicopters, dodged bullets, almost got blown up in the Porta John, but I'm still here. Um, Man, I can't stress enough how much I love these barbershop talks. When we get on here, you're gonna find that it's just like family, man. First of all, nobody gonna really agree too much on everything. My brother, 7 Points of Bliss, we always have the screen shaking about who gonna die, who gonna live. But at the end of the day, and this is the most important thing, at the end of the day, we recognize each other as brothers and men. And like you said, Jack, that this is something that's still not happening because social media is trying to keep us apart from talking to each other and for having those tough conversations that we don't agree with. And again, big ups to you, Wizzo, for putting this platform together for us to be able to have that conversation and feel safe in doing it.
Most definitely, most definitely. Guys, I'm gonna give a big shout out to you guys. Of course, my podcast is not monetized, so I don't make shit. I'm about north of 15 grand that I've spent on it, but I love it. And I just want to thank you guys for coming on, not getting paid or anything like that. So just coming on, voicing your opinion and voicing and having different topics, to bring for this discussion. So, just taking the time out to come on. Sometimes this podcast may run an hour. If you have to leave before then, just make sure that you can either send out a shout or you can go and drop off when it's time. Jack, by this your first time on there, as you can see, I'm posting some comments. So sometimes we have viewers, they'll post a comment and then I'll share it with the screen and stuff like that. Maybe we can address it, if we have time or not right in the middle or something like that or whatever. So feel free to post anything and then I'll share it with the group. So without all of that being said, I'm gonna come out with my first little old talking point, and then we'll talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll just work our way around the room with it. So I just want to know, what are you guys' thoughts? And Seven, I'm gonna come to you with this first, and then after that, we'll open up to everybody. What's up, Danny? We'll see you, baby. Appreciate you chatting in, topping in. Uh, Gonna ask, what are y'all thoughts on Kamala Harris? I almost messed it up. On Kamala Harris, the first person of color, whatever, or first female that it may not be a president. I don't know where you guys stand. I know where Seven is, so that's why I wanted to come with him first, just to see what are y'all thoughts on Kamala Harris. Seven, what you got?
Man, man, listen, when it comes to Kamala Harris, it's just like every other person who's trying to, what I'm saying, run for president, bro. They really try to get to the black people. And it's really interesting because our people hold so much power and we don't see how much power we hold until it comes to these moments like this where everybody wants to show us that they could see our struggle or be like us. Kamala Harris, for instance, she never once said she was black ever. She's always said she was Indian. So it's crazy now that she's running for presidency. Now she's saying she's black. And everybody who knows her is saying that she's Indian. Her name is Kamala. That's an Indian name. Her parents are Indian. Her father may look black, but the people that know her father have said that he admits to being Caucasian and Indian. So it's really crazy that now it's coming to this point where she wants to try to show us that she can compare to us and she does everything we do, and how she was in black sororities and she eat black food and she got Meg the Stallion twerking and shit at fucking conferences. It's just weird because none of this shit has anything to do with anything, and it's really it's her trying to hide the fact that she really doesn't even care for black people to begin with. She was giving people like maximum sentences for weed, black men. Then she was she had people on death row that she could have got off death row, right? If she was hiding like information that could have freed these people, bro. You know what I'm saying? And all this stuff is coming to light, but it's been out there. So it's just crazy that she's trying to show us that she can compare herself to black people, because it's like black people fall for anything, bro. It's really sad, honestly.
All right. Let's see how you feel. Anybody got any backup, any comeback on that?
Man, you know I do, but I'm gonna go ahead and be nice and let my man Jack speak first, because me and this wonderful brother human being up here, 7 points of bliss, boy, we usually kick it on. You already got up under my blood now. We'll have to talk about this, but go ahead. Let's hear from Jack first, man.
Okay, so I personally don't know what her demographic is, whether she's black, Indian, or whatever. I think we're making too much of an issue on whether she is or whether she isn't, because let's face it, we've only had the chance to vote for 2 people of color, period. So to say that she's not worthy of a vote because she's not black, you have one other chance to vote for a black person. So I'm comparing the two. This has always been the case with politics. You always have to pick the lesser of the two evils, because if you're really up on your politics, you know the president is just a figurehead anyway. It's the Congress and the Senate that you really need to be paying attention to, your local politicians and stuff like that. Those are the ones that are going to make a difference in your everyday life. So to me, we putting too much weight on whether she's black or not black, because she's not going to be able to do any more than the Congress and Senate let her do. There's going to be another president signing a bunch of executive orders because Congress and Senate they have their own agenda. So I personally think she's a better option than the orange fellow, but I'm not here to push that one way or another. So I'm just saying her not being black should not be a disqualifier. And we all heard of the 1 drop rule. I don't care how much blackness you have in you. If it's 1 drop, you're going to be treated as such. And they ain't comparing her to Indians. They're not giving the negative stereotypes of Indians when they talk about her. They speaking the negativity on her as if she's a black woman. So until I see her on 23andMe, I'm going to assume she's a sister, and I'm going to back her up.
All right. OB, what you got?
All right, before I light this candle, man, first of all, I got to say that, Seven, you do hit some points that are true. I'm not going to sit back here and say that she's a perfect woman. As a prosecutor, she has been guilty of withholding some evidence that could have got a brother. I don't know about the other ones. I just know of one brother out of jail earlier. She is a true politician from the time when she's a prosecutor to the time she was in Senate. She does things that politicians do. But like my man Jack said, looking at the best of the two evils, there's no comparison. If you gave me a bow-legged goat, I vote for that goat before I vote for Agent Orange. That's just fact. And as far as her being of race, I'm not going to even get into the sorority that she has been in, and the black people she grew around, and the black school that she went to. I'm gonna just give it to you simple like this, and it kind of goes to the 1 drop rule plus some. If she walking down the street and she turned around, what do people normally see? I promise you, it's not Indian. She's gonna be looked at as a black woman. Period.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Hey, look, same thing I told Tiger Woods when he was talking about he's Malaysian. You can say Malaysian all you want, but when you walking down the street in the middle of the night and you turn around, they gonna say, "Hey, that black fella tried to steal my purse."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's just
yeah.
what it is. This is America. Y'all know I love my country a lot, but I gotta tell the facts as they are. So
Right.
that's facts.
Right. And on and I didn't, even though I had this question first, I didn't bring all of the research for it. But I've heard other people say how she locked up so many blacks and gave them maximum sentences, whatever. But my only feedback on that is, or my thoughts is that she was a prosecutor, which meaning to me, I don't know that she has to prosecute the cases before her. She can't choose whether I don't want to prosecute this person because they're black or this person because they're white. So I
Mhm.
think if she has to prosecute the cases before her, and I did hear something about some type of program that she created for ex-cons and stuff like that. So I think it was some good in there for. And then just to touch on something that Jack was saying about the president and them running um, in the executive orders. It's the control of the House and the Senate. It's going to lead the House, it's going to go to the Senate, it's going to lead the Senate, go to the president. So when they're running for shit, they can say all kind of shit they want to. But if the Republicans, if it's the president is a Democrat and the Republicans control the House and the Senate, ain't shit going too much of nowhere. Because one guy brought to my attention about Obama that what was that Mr. Freeze name? Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
That's freezing up on camera. Mr. Freeze just froze
But
up and shit. He
dead
didn't
Kirk.
let, yeah, he didn't let a whole lot of shit that Obama tried to do go through. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that right there. Seven, you had something you was gonna say on that again?
Yeah, I want to just rebuttal to both my brothers here. What I was saying about Kamala Harris, right? It doesn't affect like my thoughts on it. I really don't care about that because I don't care about this system at all personally. This system does nothing for our people. The reason why I was bringing up all the points I was bringing up on Kamala Harris is because our people fall for the bullshit continuously. All it takes is somebody to say they can relate to us. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from. This system, honestly, it just needs to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Because neither side, no matter what happens, these people not gonna be for us. They never have been for us. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? They just keep coming up with bullshit, dude. You know what I'm saying? To fuck our people over. The thing that's crazy is they try to put people in there that we feel can relate to us. But recently, it's been people who look like us, and that makes it more dangerous because Obama didn't do shit for black people at all. He did a lot of shit for gay people. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to promoting or helping people who look like us, that means absolutely nothing to me because some of those people are the most dangerous people. As we've learned through history, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And we need to be looking at it like this. I don't support a motherfucker just because they look like me. Them people tend to be the motherfuckers that want to do you the most harm. Because if you look at her entire family demographic, dog, she don't fuck with black people. Her husband ain't black. Her kids don't look black. They don't. She don't think in terms like us. So to be supporting that is crazy because she already in bed with the enemy. You know what I'm saying? She working with these people in the government that ain't about shit when it comes to the people. Yeah, I know you guys are veterans, but man, honestly, man, the country ain't never did anything for our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even honestly, I would never fight for this country, dog. They just keep doing crazy shit, and then they treat the veterans even worse. I just know that y'all got mad honor, so I already know y'all riding for shit deeper than the government, man. Just from listening to Orby talk, if he was running for president, I'll vote for him before any fucking body.
2028, man. Keep that vote alive, man. 2028.
Well,
What's up,
it's
Jack?
not
What you
trust
got?
me. Not trust me and trust and believe. This country don't stand on shit for people of color. I get that part. You know, this country was built on our backs, and we probably received the least amount of recognition for it. That don't mean. I mean, if that's with that being said, what other president has done something for us? If this gonna because if you want to use that, they ain't doing nothing for our people. No president is going to be the president for the Black United States of America. And the black people in this country we are where we are, and we got to bring it upon ourselves to lift each other up to get to where where our voices are heard. Where I don't necessarily think that politics is going to be our where we get our biggest gains, I know sitting back in silence, we ain't gonna do nothing but accept what they give us. So it's like get involved in your local politics. You control like the people she was prosecuting. Somebody voted her in the office as a DA. You know, and if they would have got smart on what their DA stood for, then maybe they wouldn't have been in that type of situation. And let's not to mention, I don't know how many people she convicted that didn't sell drugs. If you live that lifestyle, if you want to be out there throwing rocks at the penitentiary, you're gonna hit it eventually.
Thanks.
You can't just get mad because you got prosecuted over a crime that you did commit. Yeah, I believe in fair punishment. Yeah, definitely. You know, being former law enforcement, trust me, it's near and dear to my heart because the stage of law enforcement now is one of the reasons that I exited the field as soon as I did. You know, I only did 10 years. It wasn't my goal to leave at that time, but it just became a moral conflict because I'm in the system now and I see what it does. But, you know, you still, to a degree, have to put yourself in a situation to be affected by the system. And we can't ignore that part either.
All right, cool. Let me say this before you say something right there, Ari. I see Coach is chatting in and leaving some comments on the side. So if you guys get a chance, might want to address some of that, then that's cool also. But Ari, well, go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I wholeheartedly believe everything we're saying right. We just got to look at where those intersections are. You know, has the government, especially the presidents, done anything for we the people as black people? Fact state, no. Because if they did, we wouldn't have to worry about our right to vote being an issue. We still don't have, you know, that right to vote under the Constitution. You know, that's something that comes up for vote every couple of years.
Yeah,
it's
an act. It's not something for law yet. Yeah, we still have
exactly.
It's almost like it has to be recertified every so often. So you know,
every so often. Even though we've been here first, and I'm not gonna say we got here after them. We've been here first, and here again, Seven. You know how I stand on business with the country. There is no question that America is America because of black people. Period. You go back before Christopher Columbus, all that stuff. There's nothing that they've done where it wasn't associated with us. But everything that they've done to take away from us is the reason why we got to keep fighting. We can't stand back because my 20 years of service in the military, my love and appreciate for law enforcement is not because America made it like that, but because I know people that look just like me went in and took that step forward so I can stand up proudly and say, no, I'm not scared of being in this country because it's my fucking country. You know, the street that I walk on, you're going to patrol it because it's my street. And as long as you're doing right, I got your back. But if you're going to do wrong, I have the right to call you out on it. So I'm always going to stand on business with that. But we got to be able to meet at the intersection. Even though I know somebody want to just kill some people. We can't kill them all. We can't do that. But what we can do is let them know that we're here. We understand what's going on. And by no means are we just blind sheep. Now, when it comes to Kamala Harris, I'm pretty sure that's the name, the way you're supposed to say it, Kamala Harris. When it comes to her, again, people keep focusing on her roots and stuff, and they're deflecting from who's the challenger. We're talking about somebody that has never been Swedish, even though he claims that in his book. He's fucking half German. Somebody that's always been against blacks because his daddy taught him that. That's how they got their money in New York, taken away from blacks. And even when we talk about Kamala Harris doing what she did as a prosecutor, Trump was never a prosecutor, but he prosecuted the Central Park 7 and wanted them hung.
Yeah.
Even though they came out to be falsely accused, he took out ads in the paper to have them hung. So when we talk about what's going on in this election, trust me, it's not because Kamala Harris is a diva angel. The same way with Biden. Biden wasn't a great man. I could pull up all kind of stuff where I could tell you I wouldn't like him or share a beer with you. But when you put him against Agent Orange, pretty much anybody with Agent Orange, that's a closed book right there for me. That's a closed book. That dude couldn't win a vote for me if he gave me money.
Bro, when are y'all gonna stop dealing with less?
But what does he do for you, Seven? I mean, I'm not. What do you? Why do you think he's a better option?
No, I'm not.
This the thing.
No. I don't. This the thing with
Okay.
me. I
Okay.
believe that we need to stop dealing with the greater or lesser evils and destroy this fucking system.
But that's not going to happen instantly. No,
It can
what's
though.
going to happen
It
instantly?
can.
It's going to happen if we allow this project 2025 to go. It's going to happen probably the way you want it, but it's not going to be in our favor.
But
He's
it
trying to
can be.
destroy the system. Say again.
It can be in our favor if we got wise brothers like y'all who have the military know-how and the tactics to be the leaders. We got the young people out here willing to die. They willing to do some crazy shit anyway. Use it to your advantage. We have to destroy this system and rebuild it in the name of our ancestors, bro. Like Orby said, we was here first. Y'all keep playing with these people. It's crazy because how many times can we tell them that we know what they're doing to them? When they shooting our people with fire hoses, when they letting our great grandparents get attacked by dogs and shit. Like, bro, we gotta stop this protesting shit and destroy this shit. Or our enemies are gonna be doing this shit to our great grandchildren. Look how far it's come. Motherfuckers thinking we not slaves, we still slaves. We just got a little bit of freedom, of an illusion of freedom. Let me say that motherfuckers think because they gave us money and passports. We still belong to them. They still got birth certificates. They own us. It's all kind of crazy shit they got going on. We have to destroy our enemies and stop laying in bed with them.
All right, I got to touch on this, Seven, because again, the part about non-protesting, I'm with you on that all day. We can't just be sitting around talking about we need something to happen. We want it to happen now. We're just gonna pray on it. We gotta have action. But you said something super important, man. The two of us, me and Jack, have 20 years of experience in the military. Now, with all that knowledge, wouldn't you think if there was a possibility for us to do something like you saying, we would have did it already?
No.
This system is bigger than what it looks like, and it's not a black and white thing that you could just click a switch on, kill everybody, and change. This system has levels. There's levels to this game, and whether you like President Obama or not, that brother, my brother, was able to get 8 years out of him because he played the system in their face and it pissed him off. No matter what you say about him, the reason why he's in the history books and him and his wife and his kids are living lavish is because everything that they put in place for him to be a one-term president, he took it, flipped it, and reversed it. And they forever sick about that because they didn't do anything to stop it. Now, here's the picture that they're looking at. They're not looking at us as former slaves. They might have some that still wish they can make America great again where we were slaves. But what we're looking at right now is this imminent fear that all the stuff that they did in the 50s has caught up with them. All the stuff that they put in place to keep us in what they thought was our place is non-existent. And here's the big banger for me. This is the part that I love the most. Everybody that wants this change is not just black folks. There's white folks out there running for this. There's Indian people out there running for this. There's Mexicans. There's a lot of people that saying enough is enough and we're not going to stand for this shit. And that's where the primal fear is.
Let me just back up right here to something Coach said. I also think it was a shock. That she locked up people for weed, and she admitted to smoking weed later on the Breakfast Club, talking about Kamala Harris. Coach, I don't know if when and where that was, if there was a time when some states where weed is legal or not or whatever, I don't know. But locking them up for it, they still doing it down here. I think here in where I think in Killeen, I think they tried to pass it where I followed that. Some Jackie, are you familiar with that? Where they tried to get that on the ballot or something like that?
Yeah, they did. Not just this current election cycle, but the previous one. They had petition to put it on the ballot. To I think they wanted to make it a misdemeanor, where you can get cited up to a certain amount of it versus
right.
Being arrested over stuff like that. Where the push was for certain amounts to be a fine versus arrest and jail time and stuff like that. But it was after my retirement, so I didn't bury myself into it because I was not there enforcing that law anymore. So
right, and they still locking people up for it. And then just to touch one more base, Biden did a what did Coach said? He did a eulogy for a Klan member or something like that. So
that was his friend.
Oh, that Klan member was his friend?
Yeah. He was in Congress.
Okay.
So we can't deny Facts. But at the same time, I'm not going to just condemn somebody for just their bad and not commend them for what they did good. That is true. That has happened. That's why we can't just take everything with a grain of salt or at face value. We got to do our research. And the more we do our research, the more they can't play over us on that. Now, when it comes to that weed thing, and Jack, you in law enforcement, you tell me what you think about this. I feel that everybody that has gone to jail, been convicted on this marijuana charge, trumped up or not, even if they're guilty with having marijuana, everybody that's in jail for marijuana charge in a state where marijuana is now legal to be profited on, not only should they be the sentence should be commuted for them to come out, but their record should be cleared, because the same thing they're in jail on, people are making top dollar on it. And I'm talking about Illinois, where at least what they did was clear people's record and they can vote again. Minnesota's doing that, but a lot of states are not doing that full heartedly, and they're making a killing off of weed legally now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. You know, if it's legal now, that you can't give them their time back. They're not going to get any restitution for the time that they spent, because at the time that they committed the crime, it was just that a crime. But I don't agree with them not being able to be free citizens up until this point, because, like you said, in my opinion, the only reason it's not legal across the board because every state ain't figured out how to monetize it to their advantage.
Facts.
That's the holdup. When they figure out a way to tax it, when they figure out a way to tax this to the state's advantage, marijuana will be legal across the board. That's just my opinion. Right. You know, this is all about who's going to make the most money of it.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up on that one right there on talking about Kamala Harris. So I want to make sure that everybody get a chance to bring in their topic before someone has to fall off. So I'm gonna come to Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack, the thing about it is, on Barbershop Talk, nobody knows who's next. So I always ask guys to just bring something to the table. If you don't have nothing, I keep something. Arvie keeps something. Seven keeps something. So what's important and what you want to talk about, that Jack? Shoot it with us, because when you say it for the first time, that's the first time we hear it and our viewers hear it.
Okay, I'm not going to drag out, not to be the dead horse, but voter registration was a big thing that I was concerned with, and it's not about voting for a particular person. It's about being heard as a citizen. You know, if you have a right to vote, I think you have an obligation to exercise that right, or you have a responsibility to shut the hell up when shit don't go the way you want it to go. I mean, because the bottom line is you have a right to make a difference, whether you think it's going to be, whether your voice is going to be heard or not. But I can tell you, sitting back silently, you really don't need to complain from my perspective.
Jack, what do you say to the people that say, fuck it, I ain't voting. I ain't going to vote. That shit is rigged. They going to put who they want off in there or whatever. What do you say to somebody like that? Just say, fuck voting.
Well, what I would tell that person who, if they have a particular candidate that they're interested in and they don't vote for them, then they gave the opposing candidate a vote just by their silence. There's no thing. OB says there's no such thing as a perfect politician. They all have some type of agenda that none of us will ever know about. But I strongly believe that, I like 7 said, how our ancestors were beat with water hoses, bitten by dogs. They went through enough hell for us to piss away the opportunity to be heard based on what our ancestors went through is a slap in that face, in my opinion. We can't bitch about how they were treated for the rights that they fought for, but yet we don't exercise them today. So don't be like, don't speak on your ancestors if you're not going to truly respect the work that they put in. And sitting back silently hoping for the next revolution, that's not going to be the way. Get out there, use the voice that they fought for you to have, and try to make a difference that way. And start at the local level. Stop just going straight down the ballot, because there may be some Republican House or Senate members that's saying some shit that you believe in. But you have a right to split your ballot, but let your voice be heard for those who you feel like are fighting for you.
Okay. All right. Seven. Arby, what's up?
Yeah, I'm gonna just agree with that and add something to what you said, because you're right. We should be voting. I think one of the big problems that we have with our voting system stuff, number one, is this college electoral college thing. That needs to go. And the two-party system. The main reason politicians have been able to play in Americans' faces for generations is because when it comes down to it, you only have Republican or Democrat, pretty much blood or crip. Um, if we can fix that to something where we have at least 3 independent party, I think we should have 5. We'll see a change. That and term limits, but we can't get that by burning down the whole thing. We got to change it from within. We got to have like-minded people get in there, and like Jack said, start at the bottom. You can't go at the top and chop the head. I'm telling you, this thing is too secure up there. But the way you do it is the same way everybody else did. You trying to filter on the inside, gain a position, and start raising your position.
Right.
Those term limits need to start with the House and Senate, not just the president. Nobody deserves to be in that damn position for life. If you ain't doing a damn job, vote their ass out or put limits on their terms and stuff. So I agree with you there.
Right. And just before you go, 7, just to mention on term limits, we've talked about term limits. I know me and Harvey have, I think 7 and I have a couple of times on here before. And I believe Biden is trying to do something with the Supreme Court, because now them motherfuckers can take bribes and all kind of shit,
And they take bribes, just tell us in our face. Yeah, I took it. What are you going to do? I'm here for life. Yeah, he's trying to get 18 years on them.
Yeah. And that's good. I mean, you got people up in there like Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi. It's a whole lot of them motherfuckers in there that's 70, 80 years old. You're already millionaires. Get your ass up out of there. If you can't do it within a certain term, they need to be up out of there. Mitch McConnell freezing on camera. I didn't agree with Biden being running again for his age. And then here it is. They got Agent Orange and 45 stupid ass. He forgetting what he's going to say. He don't know what he's going to say. He's freezing up. He's not making no fucking sense on nothing he's about to say in the world. So I am a strong supporter on the term limits and things like that. But 7, let me go and come back because you was about to say something.
Yeah, man. I just want to say that. I mean, I don't vote. I don't participate in the system because the system is weak and it's fraudulent. I don't complain about what's going on the planet because I'm gonna move how I want to move regardless. I still do everything legally. I have guns. I have all manner of weapons. They're all legal. You know what I'm saying? But to participate in something that you feel is fraudulent, right? That just makes you look stupid because the whole system is not not righteous. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors, for the lack of better terms, most of our ancestors were stupid because the shit that they fought for was meaningless. Motherfuckers was out here fighting for civil rights. Dr. Martin Luther King said it before he died that he integrated his people into a burning building. People don't know history and people are lack intelligence and people lack knowledge only for the simple fact is because people just don't know. People don't seek information. We live in the age of information. People was fighting for civil rights. They weren't fighting for human rights. If you fought for human rights, you really be somewhere right now. And I'm not going to participate in the system that's falling apart because our people have always, throughout history, our people have always been great. Even when they was burning down Black Wall Street and they was doing all this shit to our Black communities, we had businesses, we had our own bus companies, we had all this shit when we was segregated. But they was fighting for shit for us all to be integrated with each other when we should have stayed apart and made ourselves greater continuously. You know what I'm saying? And we could have got those people out of here because they came here. We were already here. So to participate in some shit that they brought here with their paperwork and their history, like you were saying Obama's in history. Yeah, all history ain't true. Obama still ain't do shit for people, man. You know what I'm saying? He just did shit for gay people, dog. I don't give no fuck about Obama. I don't care about the government or any of this shit. I understand that y'all voting because y'all think this stuff can change. But how long are you going to keep voting seeing things are not changing? Our people have been voting for like what? 80, 90 years or some shit like that. And ain't shit went in our favor. It still is not going in our favor. So the fact that you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results makes you insane. That's what I'm saying. You have to crush this system. You all will continuously talk about what you know about what the government has. But just like you say, our people are all throughout this system. Y'all can still be wrecking shop, don't setting shit up. We can still shut this shit down. You know what I'm saying? Just because our people were talking about we need to be in with these people back then, they lacked a certain level of intelligence. Plus, Dr. Martin Luther King was in cahoots with the government anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's why when he
Have
started
you made
talking,
any?
they killed his ass, and they
All
killed
right.
Malcolm X for talking
Let me
rich.
go ahead and jump in on this, brother, because I'll let you
Look,
say your
I
piece.
just want to know: do you really think that you're? I mean, I'm not, and I don't here to. I'm not here to disagree with your mentality because you, like you say, you have a right to treat this system and your voting rights as you very well please, and I'm gonna respect you as a man regardless. It doesn't matter because I haven't heard you say anything that's a lie. But what I don't believe is that radical approach is going to work.
It don't
I
have to
mean,
be
I think
radical; it just has to be organized. The
so.
Black
Why
Panthers
did the
weren't
black?
radical.
Why did? But why? And that was you went right to. So why didn't the Black Panthers sustain though?
They didn't sustain because the FBI put people in there to break them up that look like us, and that's why I keep saying all skin folk and kinfolk.
Hmm.
The FBI tore that shit down from the inside because they put niggas in them that look like us. That's what fucked us up.
But from that point on, we haven't had a chance for a resurgence since that point. I
Because
mean,
people are scared. Once you kill a leader, motherfuckers don't want to step up. Why Jesse Jackson didn't step after Martin Luther King got killed? Nobody
Oh,
wants to step up
I
because they
I
are
gotta
scared
get
to
up in
die.
here.
People
I
are
gotta
scared to
get up
die.
in here.
Our
I
ancestors
gotta
were
get up
never
in here.
scared to
Hold
die.
up, Harvey. Let it finish. Let it finish.
I'm just saying our ancestors was never scared to die. Now we dealing with a society of weak men instead of understanding that we should be raising all of our men to be radical and to be leaders. Then when one motherfucker die, it's always gonna be another motherfucker stepping up. We don't teach our young men to be leaders like that. We teach them out of fear because we teaching them that money is strength. Money ain't shit. If you ain't got no land, you ain't got nothing. And if you ain't got rights to that land, you ain't got nothing. Because the government still step in and take all your shit. You know what I'm saying? People
All right,
need to
Harvey.
teach the next generation.
Harvey, before you go, Seven, just keep in mind right here that Cree asked the question, how we supposed to crush the system. So we'll come back to that, but let me let Harvey go ahead and say what he's gonna say.
All right, I'm gonna start it off good before I dig in it. First of all, um, not voting is not a bad thing. I'm not gonna sit up here and say you should vote because I believe in voting. I vote every time. But there's a lot of Americans that don't vote, and their life is great because they don't believe in the system. But I will push back when people that don't vote say the people that vote are stupid. That's just not a smart thing to say because your agenda and what you're doing is good for you. People that vote like me have a different agenda. And the way we're going forward is totally different. I would never come and say, hey, if you're not up here voting, you're part of the problem. But I will say, like Jack said, if you don't vote and it don't go your way, don't complain about shit. Now, we start talking about money and stuff like that. This country is a capitalist country. You can believe kumbaya is going to save you and killing a lot of people is going to save you. But at the end of the day, it's about making money. This machine, the United States of America machine, works on commerce and it works on money and it works on people knowing how that works. Now, I say that because our ancestors knew how it worked. They knew how it worked so well that when they got out of enslavement, they started taking over. They didn't take over by killing and rebelling. They took over by getting into the election process, getting office legally, doing the right thing, and doing things for the community. But you want to know who did start killing and taking over? Those racist whites. They killed, they took over everything, they erased everything because if you have to do a lot of killing, it's because you was doing something wrong. You trying to hide something. All the blacks that I know of that have got on the line, went for it, and sacrificed their lives for me to be able to do what I'm saying, they're heroes to me. They're heroes to me because they didn't have to do that. They could have stayed quiet. They could have fought and got killed like a lot of people. And then when we talk about the Black Panther Party, if we're going to talk about the Black Panther Party, let's tell that whole story. It wasn't just about the FBI getting into the Black Panther Party. It was about the FBI finding where the Black Panther Party was splitting, where some people wanted to be ultra aggressive, some people wanted to be conservative, some people just wanted money, some people wanted women, and they exploited that. That's why the Black Panther Party fell. The Black Panther Party was a great organization, and it failed because of inside greed and people having different ideas of how to move forward. People never talk about the new Black Panther Party that's out there. They're out there.
Oh, they are.
I've talked to a couple of them. They try to recruit me, but they are on some racist bullshit where they want to kill anybody that has mixed blood, that don't believe the way they believe. And here's the crazy part about black peoples in America. Most people that are black in America probably got some white in them. You might not want to look at 23andMe if you believe that you're 100% black and you're the blackest black, because it's probably not like that. The only ones that I think can say that is the gully people down in South Carolina. And they got the numbers to prove it. But I say all that to say this. That shit don't mean anything. At the end of the day, this is a United States of America. And the only way we can move forward is united. If we keep talking this separation and splitting this stuff, all we doing is making it easy for the 1% that's controlling us to keep controlling us. So, no, I'm not voting. No, I'm not going to yell at you for voting or call you stupid. But yes, I'm going to keep moving forward as the all-American I am and let people know when I say this land is your land, I'm following up with this land is my land too. I earned this shit.
What's up? Hey, just a quick shout out to my viewers that's watching, and appreciate y'all coming in, tapping in with the questions and all. So what we want to do before we move on to like the next topic, I like to go back to what Cree was asked in 7, and where was it at? I had it somewhere. How do we shit? Where'd she go? Where was
how
it?
Do we crush the system, or how do we?
Yeah,
crushing the system or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How do we crush the system?
Yeah. So you got to come back on that 7. I think she may have been directing that towards you because of what you were speaking on at that time.
That's an easy solution, bro. People just need to get the fuck up and go. You know what I'm saying? Like people complain about like what y'all call Trump. Y'all got a name for him. I forgot what y'all been calling that motherfucker.
I call him Agent Orange. I got a couple of names for him.
Agent Orange. You see how Agent Orange got all the white people? Y'all see how Agent Orange got on white people to go to Washington, D.C.? Mm-hmm. We need to be organized like that. And it ain't even just black people, though. Because you was just saying that we can't do this and be separated. It's not just black people being torn down, bro. Because racism, they can change the face of it. So now it's classism. You know what I'm saying? Black people still get treated the worst, but we all need to step up and take the government down because we have that power as the people. That's what we need to do, and that's how we can easily crush them. Just like they do in other systems or other countries. When they tired of their politicians, they go over there and they drag them motherfuckers out the office themselves. Millions of people go out there, bro. If y'all watch the world news, they be out there in front of these people's houses, dragging them out their offices, all type of stuff. But for some odd reason, we're scared of police shooting us down like they're not just regular people too, though. A lot of police motherfuckers, they tired of this shit too, though. They not just brainwashed people. People in the military not just brainwashed people. A lot of people are tired of it. But until we use our power as a collective, right, we're not doing that. Our leaders back in the day tried to organize it, but they was just doing it because they was just black people, bro. They was trying to get the black people together, but they didn't understand the politics of it all. Because like I said, they were still fighting for civil rights. If y'all look up human rights are way more important than civil rights. And people back then knew it, but our leaders didn't know it. So we need to organize. We need to get our human rights straight. And we also need to stop classifying ourselves as black because it gives us no type of power as a group. We're not black people, bro. We're the indigenous American people of this land.
I'm black.
And let me
get our power straight.
Let me tap in on this right here for one of our viewers. Creed's talking about I know y'all not discussing this in the local barbershop. Creed, we discuss some every damn thing in the barbershop. It's uncut, it's unedited, it's unrehearsed, it's all that shit. When you sit down in that barbershop chair and he put that little piece of tissue around your neck, you have no idea what that motherfucker gonna say and what he gonna talk about. So you know, it just like that. So we do that. And then just to touch on because I'm gonna come to Ari for another topic right there, unless you guys are gonna go around. Just to touch on blacks or people of color sticking together. The most time that I see them stick together is when someone of color has been shot, and then you see a gazillion of them out there protesting. You know, it's people now that I talk with about my podcast. That's people of color, black or whatever, and don't support it. It's people. Arby is working on a Survivor Memorial documentary, and I'm sure he can relate to where some people of color, black people, however they want to be known as, don't support him. Me and my fiance went out to a place in Killeen the other day. We try to support some of the black-owned restaurants or whatever, and sometimes you get treated like shit, from the black-owned business or whatever. Like they don't even really give a shit about your money. So, but I'm just saying that sometimes black people, we just don't stick together. If we could come together as one, oh my God. I mean, we have the numbers, but coming together. Now, I'm not saying coming up because I think 7 before said talking about going up there to do a January 6th. I don't see the black people coming together to do that. But if we can come together, we can change some shit. But my opinion, we just don't stick together. So I open it up. If anybody had any other questions on anything or comments or not, we'll go to Arby. So anybody got anything?
Just one other comment for 7. I mean, I can see you passionate about your perspective on this thing. Do you have you thought of any of an approach, a more gradual approach to your point? Because you're right, brothers and sisters ain't gonna just pick up arms and go shooting up shit. Because if this shit don't work, the ones who pick up arms, they're gonna find themselves on the other side of them bars. But if you find a more gradual way of getting your message across, or because you're not gonna get us as a collective. I heard Dr. Cornel West speak on it one time. A student in one of his forums asked, why is it so hard to get all of us to come together? And this was probably in recent years. And he let him know, even in the past, it's going to be that 10% that does all the work. So you probably that 10% of that 1% of your social circle. OB may be that 1% of his. Wizzo, myself, when you're talking about a small, it's going to always be the small numbers carrying the load. So when you get such a small proportion of the people who's willing to carry the load, we got to find a way to this is going to be worth the risk versus reward. Because killing off just your 10%, then you back to square one.
True.
So you're gonna have to come up with an approach to where you're gonna get more than 10% of the people engaged. Because I'm gonna tell you, ain't gonna be no more than 10% that's gonna be willing to pick up arms and go wreck shop, because we're at a disadvantage to the system. We're at a disadvantage all the way around. You sound like you're proficient with your firearms, but how many of the brothers and sisters that you roll with know how to pick up a damn gun and use it properly? So we got to start with the basics. You can't just pick up a bunch of people with guns and go shooting because you fuck around be shooting each other because you don't know how to hold a damn weapon.
Well, shot your damn self because you trying to hold it sideways. Cool.
It's like what you saying. I'm not saying there's no place for your perspective. I'm just saying you have to figure out a way where you can implement it to where it becomes effective and not just you run into a damn burning building, because we back at the start line with that approach.
And that's why we talk to our children, bro. At a young age, it needs to be pushed into their head, just like they had our children saying the Pledge of Allegiance and all this other crazy shit, bro. We need to be pushing it into our children, not the fact that our history started as slavery, but it started somewhat greater. You know what I'm saying? Because slavery was just a middle point. Everybody.
Now, I will tell you that. Now, I don't know what your age is. I don't know your age, but I can tell you that probably your age group and younger, because I have my youngest is 24 years old. I have a daughter that's 27 years old. This younger generation is for the shits. They here for the nonsense. So they're coming along with it. But I'm just saying, but you gotta. They just don't have that experience, the time under their belts to make that big difference yet. So it's happening, but it's just like we got to stay educated at this level, because you got brothers my age who still not exercising their rights and doing the things that they could do. So it's like. You can't just depend on that one generation. You're right. Start from the crib. Start teaching them from the way up. But my age, your age, those above me, they got to get on board too, at least with education, if nothing else.
It's true, they do, bro. And you have to make it. You have to make it so seductive to them that they have no other choice but to want to commit to it. Because this is not just about me and you. This is about our children to come. Like, that's what people don't really understand. This system has never worked for us, so we need to do something greater. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors, they knew it, but they just went about doing it the wrong way. And we have to teach our children something different. Like Orby was saying, right? Our enemies was tearing our ass off back in the day because they were savages. They was just doing crazy shit. Sometimes you have to meet your enemy at that level. A lot of our people have been taught to be afraid on every level. You know what I'm saying? Like from the time I was a little boy, I grew up in Chicago. My mom be like, when you see the police, stop, hold your arms up. Why we got to teach why we have to teach our children fear automatically because the police? White people don't teach their kids this. If everybody in the community came together with this police officer to stop somebody.
But you got to, we're not teaching them fear, we're teaching them survival.
Yeah, but it's other ways of survival.
No, I'm saying you're not getting white kids and all them other kids getting shot down on the streets all willy-nilly. But you getting those, that's happening to our black kids. So you have to teach them survival before you can teach them how to rebel. Because all the rebellion in the world ain't gonna matter if they damn laying on the side of the road because you got some scary ass fucking cop that just shoot before you ask questions. So we don't necessarily give them those lessons because we want them to be afraid. We want them to be knowledgeable of their rights, but we want them to make it home, man. Even as an officer, I tell you, you don't fight your case on the side of the road. Regardless of how fucked up you think the system is, fighting your case on the side of the road is the quickest damn path to the graveyard than it is to the damn jailhouse. Get your ass off the side of the road. We all got cameras now. You don't have to have the police don't have to have cameras as much as they used to because everybody around you got a damn camera. We all got ways of recording things. So don't look at it as teaching them fear. We really are trying to teach them how to get home. And I'm gonna stand on that because I have sons, and we see black girls and boys getting unrightfully killed all the damn time. So it's about survival more than fear. I promise you.
No, I feel you on that. But what if instead, right? We taught our children when you see the police having a young black person over or any black person over, everybody in that community should be coming over, intervening into that situation because yet again the police work for us. You know what I'm saying? It's not the other way around. So why do we not teach our people to come together in those times to protect those people so they wouldn't get shot? You know what I'm saying? If there was a group of 100 people out there with a police officer, look, he trying to get this one black boy, but 100 people come and surround him. What do you think is going to happen? And then more people are gathering. If we moved as one, we wouldn't even have to worry about any of that shit to begin with because we already know what they own. You know what I'm saying?
What's stopping us from moving as one?
I'm sorry, what do you say?
What's stopping us from moving as one? What do you think is stopping us from moving as one?
Fear. Everybody's scared.
I don't think it's fear. I think it's because, unfortunately, as a group of people, most of us, a lot of us want to be the top dog. You have your brothers around you that rather see you fail. They rather see you damn crash into a wall than let you merge into a lane. So it's not all fear. It's about we have to learn as a people who come from a tribal history. We do the worst fucking job in the world of sticking together, and it makes no sense at all because we come from a tribal culture, but we find it hard as hell to stick together because we don't want. And when I say we, I'm not speaking for every man or woman, every stuff like that, but we tend to not want to see each other succeed more than we are.
Yeah.
I want look if your goal is to be a trillionaire, damn it, I hope you be a trillionaire tomorrow. Because what you eat don't make me shit. I have no gain in you not succeeding. But many of us almost take pleasure in seeing a brother fail if we can't succeed with him or surpass him. And until we change the mentality of we have to outdo each other and actually adopt the mentality of we're all as one, we're going to continue to fight this fight. We got to win the fight within the community before we start then focusing on the outside of it.
And that's
we coming to you, Arby. We coming to you. Well, you finish that, Jack. I'm coming right to you, Arby.
No, because Jack is hitting on something that I feel, and I think this, again, the intersection, as much as we don't agree on every single point, there's substance in what you're saying. I would put this up on the table. Instead of rallying everybody to get up, to get guns, to take over, how about rallying everybody in the neighborhood to do the right thing? Now, the reason I'm saying that, no, it sounds easier done, but it's happened before. When I was a kid, I'm 54 years old. In the Chicago I grew up in, We had gangsters, but you know what else we had? We had leaders. We had leaders that told you better not walk across that grass. We had leaders that said when we have a block party, you do not leave this block and you clean up the trash. We had people that taught you how to be a young man and a young woman growing up. So when the cops came in, and this is really important, instead of the cops getting scared to shoot somebody, they knew if this little kid was getting out of place, they can go talk to one of the elders, one of the leaders. And the cop didn't even have to pick them up. And I can tell you that because even though we have a history of bad cops, people forget we have a history of a lot of good cops. There's some people that are still alive today because we had good cops that intervened when a bad cop did. And I got to say that because I'm one of them people. When we start talking about taking over stuff, we can't just jump to the top and cut the head off. We got to build a base. And anybody that's been in the military knows this. Before we do anything, we got to get that basic area taken care of. We got to take care of that foxhole before we make it deeper. And the way you do that is working to make sure everything in there is right. When we talk about Malcolm X, when we talk about Martin Luther King, when we talk about the Black Panther Party, these are things that were started on the platform. And instead of ensuring the platform stayed right, people got greedy. People wanted to do their thing. And this is why when you said Reverend Jesse Jackson, I kind of sparked up a little bit. Everybody wasn't out for the same thing. When we look at Martin Luther King, as great as he was for his civil rights movement, the reason he got killed actually was because of human rights. And that's why I'm not going to disagree with you on everything. Before he died, he was one of the hated men in the United States. They don't cover that, but you can look it up. From 63 to 68, they hated him. Why? Because he opposed the war in Vietnam. He said there's too many poor, black, white, all kind of Americans than rich people. And he said we need to make sure everybody's taken care of. So when we talk about that, we're going to go back. This is why history is so important. We need to look at that. Look what went wrong and look at how we can maneuver with the system we have right now to move forward. And believe it or not, the people that's going out there voting and making these little changes, they're making it possible. Because the things we could do today in 2024, we couldn't even believe that that would happen in 65 to 68. The stuff we're doing right now is incredible to our forefathers.
I'm gonna just touch on one thing. 7, do you usually have to leave at 7? You sticking in or you gotta run?
Nah, man, I'm good till about 7:20.
Okay, because I want to make sure you get your point in. So, Ari, if you don't mind, after I say this or whatever, I'm gonna hit up 7 so he can get
Yes,
something
sir.
in. Then we come back to you or whatever. Jack, you
Okay.
good on time?
Yeah, I'm straight.
Okay, good. So I just want to touch on this just right quick. And I was talking to my fiance's father the other day. Well, he was talking with us, and he's retired veteran, Vietnam, whatever. I think he just turned 75, and I didn't catch the state, but I think he said in 1972, which wasn't that long, really. And he said that he went to somewhere down south. I don't know if it's Alabama, Mississippi, and he wanted to get some gas or something. And he walked up to the door or something, and the sign said, "Niggas go around to the back." He said he was off in some Impala or something, whatever, and that made him hot. He didn't went over there. He didn't fought for this country. He didn't done this. He didn't done that, and whatever. Then he got to come back and see a sign saying "Niggas go around to the back." He said he threw gravel all up over that place and kind of pissed him on off. And I've had my dad on here before talking about how he's 85, 86, and how he almost went to jail for drinking at a white water fountain, so to speak, or whatever or something. So it just I just wanted to touch on that. Arby, you had said something that made me hit that up in my notes, so I just had that. And also, I just want to draw you guys' attention over to the comments. A lot of comments been coming in. You can kind of address them if you get a chance to. And I'd like to thank everybody else for tapping into Barbershop Talk episode 5, where you just don't never know what you're gonna get right here. It's uncut, it's unedited, and we sit on down in the barbershop chair and we spit that shit out. So with all that said, 7, what you got? Because I want to make sure you cover something before you get out of here.
So man,
It may have been Mississippi, Coach. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I just wanted to ask because I had spoken this before, and I want to know why do people feel like it's bad when I say that we need to police our own like communities, right? And then you all, I've had somebody in the comments saying people not held accountable in our communities or within our culture and stuff like that. But why is it that when I say we have to police and control our communities is a bad thing, when I say that you got to kill the bad people, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you make it. That's actually how you're gonna make it better. Some people only gonna keep getting worse. Sometimes you can't have that Batman mentality where you just lock people up and they get back out and they're gonna be reformed. Sometimes you have to destroy the evil, brother. You know what I'm saying? To get the righteous on top. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but let's say you got somebody that's a rapist, right? And they just raping women. Why would you even let them keep going? Why, you know what I'm saying? If you got people who out here killing people in the community, why would you let them keep going? You know what I'm saying? Why lock these people up? You know what I'm saying? Why try to rehabilitate them when these people have been shown signs to keep doing the same crazy stuff over and over and over again? You know what I'm saying? That.
Okay. Anybody?
Yeah.
You want to, Obi?
Again, yeah, I want to talk about this because just when I think we're on the same sheet of music, you break my intersection. You do it every time. And you know you do it on purpose. I know you do it on purpose. But I'm still going to give you your props on it because this is something that I believe is the answer. Growing up in a community and making sure that we can feel safe in our own community. If you can show me that, I can show you a group of people that's ready to move forward. But if you can't show me that, there's no need of talking that. So if we want to be rebellious, I think the most rebellious thing that we can do is go back to those neighborhoods where the property values drop, where people are doing whatever they want, reclaim those neighborhoods before somebody else does, and make it our little utopia. When we look at Black Wall Streets and the towns that made it before they got burnt out, that's exactly what they did. But they did it because they had no other choice. They could not move to another city or another town. They had to get it where they were at, get it out the mud. And the thing about it was they wasn't for no bullshit. If you wanted to be a badass little kid and mouth off to the wrong person, you was probably going to get strapped up there and strapped up when you got back home. So things were set in order for that not to happen. Now, why that's not happening now? I got all kind of reasons. One of my main ones is them breaking up the Black family dynamic. When they started the welfare program and said the only way you can get welfare is if the dad leaves, that's a dynamic shift. Now you have somebody that used to be the controller in the house, at least helping the mom, not there, so she got to get it on her own. And not all parents are strong enough to beat sense in all their kids. So kids grow up wilding out, and then they raise some more kids that's the norm, wilding out even worse. And we can look at Chicago for that example, Seven. I know I'm older than you, but you've lived in Chicago. You've seen the change. The OGs back in the day, there were certain blocks you could go on and certain blocks you couldn't go on. Period. No question that. If you were a female, nobody better not touch you on that block because there was a gang of people coming after you. And I'm talking about the 60s and the 70s when I came up the 70s. In the 80s, it started shifting because a lot of the leaders, the generals, got locked up. And people started saying, well, I want to run it my way. Well, your way is not the good way. I want to run it my way. And then we got greedy with drugs and money. And next thing you know, flash forward to now, you can't find a safe corner to be on in Chicago because there's no set rules for the gangsters. There's no set rules for anybody. So basically, everything that was being built up and brought up from the South to Chicago has all been thrown to shit. Why? Because everybody wants to be the head honcho and they don't care who they cut down to get there. We need to pull that back, and people need to be humble to say, okay, we can account for our leaders not being right, but we still need leaders to lead us to the right place, if that makes sense.
Just
Another
go
point
ahead.
you're saying, Seven, about holding you basically said why we're not holding our community accountable, right? I
Pretty
mean,
much, yeah.
it's a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch for me to kill off somebody because I don't like the way they're doing things. I mean, but we should absolutely be holding each other accountable. That's one of the. I feel like as men, we do a bad job at holding our peers accountable. I've spoken female friends of mine that as women sometimes to do a bad job at holding each other accountable because we all when it comes to accountability, we tend to speak from the side of the coin that benefits us the most. So as a woman, it's natural for you to stick up for your sisters. As a man, it's natural for you to stick up for your brothers. But sometimes our brothers be wrong as hell. I'll leave it at that. And we need to be man enough to call them out on their bullshit. Like just because you're a brother don't mean you're right in everything you do. And if you can't take being called out on your bullshit, then first of all, you're not a true friend. You're just somebody who's probably in a circle leeching off of your people. But we have to start calling out brothers on their bullshit. Sisters have to start calling out their sisters on their bullshit and stop being so defensive about every part of it. Because sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade. And so
Facts.
the neighborhoods, you got neighborhoods where parents want to be their kids' friends, and nobody in the neighborhood better not say shit to my child. No, it used to take a village, and it used to actually be a village that raised the damn child and stuff. But we so stuck on now, my child, you better not say nothing to my child.
Yep.
Because you get shot over shit like that now. Yeah, as a parent, you catch hell almost disciplining your own child. Now we can't beat as far as like what you're saying. Oh, in terms of beating the in out of them, that's slave mentality stuff. That's what we got our asses whooped like that because our parents were. That's how they were disciplined, and their parents were damn not so far removed from slavery. So that's how they. You think about it. Most of us on this podcast, at least three of us, I know our parents weren't even born with the right to vote. That wasn't that damn long ago. When you say the last generation, the generation that you came from, could not just walk out and freely vote because society will want to have you. The shit is so far back in the past that we shouldn't be tripping on it. No, now we talking about 2 generations ago where we were affected by these things, and we're still fighting for the shit today. So we're not gonna be able to beat it out, but we can damn sure educate the hell out of them. Yeah. That's what education definitely the foundation of us getting on a better track.
All right. Just to say this right here, just on some Cree, I see your comments coming in. I think 7 just answered the one. Do you believe the first woman came from man? So he's saying no. Wait a minute, I read that wrong. Do you believe the first woman came from the man from the male's rib? Yeah. So I think 7 Pomegranate Samurai already answered that for you. And I don't know if y'all see this other one she got up here. I can see right now we're gonna have to have I don't know, some other type of open discussion. Yeah, well, this is episode 5 when we get going over. But I think I'm gonna have to just get Cree on here with us men, and so she could go ahead on and answer some of these questions because she told me she had some shit. So there it go. So,
oh man,
but anyway, just to say, I thank everybody for their comments and coming on in. We try to get to them as we can. I know 7 got to get ready to bounce. So 7, if you were through with that, I'm gonna go and run over here to OB right quick and see what he got. Was you had anything else on his 7 or Jack? Anybody? Black women couldn't vote until 1920. Okay. All right. Well, all right then. OB, what you got for us, man? What you got for us to chat up at in this barbershop?
Well, I got 2 things, but I don't want to let 7 leave without pissing them off. So I'm gonna ask my most radical one first. Get them all riled up before he get up out of there. I want to talk about men and women's clothing. Men wearing dresses, men dressing up like women. What's the big deal?
Shit.
Wait, you asking me what's the big deal? I don't honestly. I just feel like this whole thing with men dressing up in women's clothing is a big ass joke, dog. It's like the women want power, but then they have so much power that now they're empowering everybody to feel like they can be whatever they want to be, and they're saying that men dominate everything. So now you're letting men say that they could be women so that they can dominate the stuff that y'all do have. You know what I'm saying? Not men dressing about women like women and dominating women's sports. And women got a problem with it now, but they've been the one pushing the whole gay agenda. You know what I'm saying? Loving everybody, and that's cool. I don't have no problem with nobody being gay or any of that, but It's like, bro, at some point it has to stop. Now there are some cultures where dudes wear things that are like dresses, like Africa or in Ireland where they wear kilts or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But this shit over here in America is something way different, brother.
Ooh, let me get this straight, Arby. Your question was something about men dressing as women.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, now when we saying, are we talking about with the lipstick? Are we talking about with the bras and the skirts and the G strings? I mean,
Hey,
I
not
just
you I put a thong on too. With
so me. I mean, hey, so you tell me that?
Put it like this. Put it like this. Oh, some years back, I had to come to a realization that society has come to a point now where right and wrong is pushed so far down people's throats that we get nowhere with it. And so I try to look at things from the perspective of being different, because depending on what your religious beliefs are, everybody in that community is on their way to hell. That's not for me to say. I can't get nobody in hell or heaven or out of hell or heaven. So I approach it from a perspective of how does it affect me and the people that I love? And if it doesn't, then like somebody put in the comments, I'm ignoring it. It don't make a difference to me. It just I just can't. We got bigger fish to fry than me to worry about what a man is doing. Now, if you're talking about pushing stuff on children, people underage, now we have another discussion.
right.
Because you talking about these kids be given the opportunity to choose their gender and gender transformation operations and stuff like that. I don't agree with that on one bit, because you're talking about a child whose mind is not fully developed making an adult and possibly life altering decision. I take issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part. As far as full grown adults who surpass the age of 21, I ain't gonna say 18. I'm gonna say if you're 21 and over and you decide to do these things, that's on you. I can't do anything like that. I don't have to. My energy is not for that. I think a child needs more attention and protection than for me to worry about what a man or woman does in terms of their gender or dress.
Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I brought that up was two reasons. First, for the gay agenda where everybody bringing out there, and for those that don't know, I am definitely for the LGBTQ plus and whatever alphabets they have, because I don't think it's any of my business what they do in the bedroom as long as they consent adults. I really don't give a damn. I think that society has just gotten so controlling about being righteous that they forget that everybody has a choice to choose what they do as long as it doesn't intervene or work on what you're doing. Because fact is, there's been gays throughout life.
Yeah.
All the way back to the time you see written, you're going to see somebody gay. But my issue is people try to make this a reason to, lack of better word, stone people because they don't look at things the same way. And I'm like, you know what? You're killing the problem that we don't need to be focused on. Just like you said earlier, Jet, we got so much other stuff that's going on that shouldn't even be on the radar. That shouldn't even be on the radar. Now, the other reason I brought it up is for the entertainment purposes. And I'm talking about all the flack that Tyler Perry got for being Medea, and all the things that they said he was influencing because he agreed to be a black man in dress and stuff. First of all, this man went from nothing to being damn near billionaire for entertainment. I'm putting the focus on that entertainment. And it's not the first time a black man has put on dress. From my knowledge, it goes all the way back to Flip Wilson. Some people might not remember him, but Flip Wilson was bigger than fucking Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
People forget that. He used to buy a Rolls Royce every year because of the money he was making off the 3 seasons he had the Flip Wilson show. And he was also a military man. I think his background was Air Force. But the reason I'm saying this is that people are quick to talk about black men doing wrong, being held down, doing this, but nobody talks about Tootsie. Anybody know what I'm talking about when I said Tootsie?
not right off. No.
Okay, Dustin, what's his name?
Yeah,
Dustin
Dustin
Hoffman.
Hoffman. Dustin
Yeah,
Hoffman. Yeah.
he played a
Oh, you
famous
talking about the
role
movie?
as
You
Tootsie.
talking about the movie? Right.
Yeah.
All right. The movie. Yeah.
This
Yeah. Yeah.
dude
Okay. No.
made a killing off that.
Yeah.
This dude was revered for all that. But a black man does the same thing he does. Not only is everybody else coming after him, his whole community is telling him he's wrong. So the reason I bring that up is that this has more of a perspective than just a black man being in a dress. It's about double standards, and it also gets into our music and our movies. Anytime somebody else does something about killing in the movies or killing in the rap, it's looked at as art. But when we do it, our own kind turn on us and tell us that we're wrong and we should be crucified. Now, I'm going to finish this up with the one thing that brought this all about to me, and it still pissed me off to this day. Anybody remember the black exploitation movies of the 70s? All the movies that was made about, the gangs and, coffee and
Yeah.
Pam Grier stuff. This was pretty much like a time of enlightenment for black people to actually get into the movies, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera, being writers, making stuff that makes some money. And guess what? The NAACP said you're wrong for showing black people like that. We're going to stand against you. We're going to shut down black exploitation. And after they did that, the 80s came in. How many black movies did you see in the 80s with black people actually doing a full cast? And you can't say Boomerang because that shit didn't happen to the 90s. We got to be careful of how we judge each other. It's okay to have your own opinion, but if you're going to shut down somebody for a belief that you have, make sure that's all the way across. Don't just single in us. And I say us because I'm going to be that dude that'll do that. And I wish somebody would come up to talk to me about me trying to make this money being a character. So, yeah, I just wanted to piss y'all off real quick with that one. I got an easy one, but I'll throw that one
the
out
thing
there.
is, see, you make a point that like everybody, we all remember that Cat Williams interview with Shannon Sharp and stuff, where he was basically calling all black actors who did stuff like that. And my whole problem with the Cat Williams, and two problems I had with it. He claimed he didn't take these roles because he stood for a certain moral principle. Why is that not enough? Why are your morals and principles not enough for you to stand on? Why you have to drag down somebody else because their choices may be different than yours? So that's the problem I had with that. My second issue is if you have so much knowledge, so white people in the game you should be calling out too, but you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you.
Boom.
You don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. So don't, if what a person chooses to do is on them. Like I said, if it don't affect my bottom line, hey man, do what you do. That's not my lane. If it don't hurt anybody in the process, if it don't affect children negatively, do what you do.
Seven, you got anything to hit on it, man? Because I know it's getting time for your exit close, so I want to make sure you get something in.
I want to say, man, with the whole little gay agenda, man, I'm not against them. I'm not with them. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all saying don't focus on that because we got other things to focus on. But I feel like we need to focus on everything simultaneously. It's almost like people be like, the food is poison, and then other people be like, the water is poison, and then other people be like, the clothing that we wear is poison. And it's like we're not looking at everything in our society is poisoning us. It's not just the food, the medicine, the water, it's everything together. And it's the same thing when it comes to things that are poisoning us mentally. And my man down here, he said that it's really affecting the kids. You know what I'm saying? And it is, because like I was trying to say about the other shit, we need to start teaching the kids when they're young. They're teaching our children this stuff in school. They're taking out stuff like history and stuff like that, right? Race theory or whatever, right? But they're putting in the whole little gay agenda and teaching our kids that shit. We need to be focused on everything simultaneously, and we can do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we need to have our own government so we can have groups of our people focusing on what we should be teaching our kids. We really should be having our own schools, but for some odd reason, we can't get the money together to do that. That's what we need to be doing. Dude, Dr.
Unity.
Umar Johnson, he was on some weird shit. He didn't even open a school.
We need to focus on uniting. That's what we need to focus on. We focus
Yeah.
on uniting, all of that other stuff will fall in place.
True.
We gotta focus on being one.
What's the best place to unite if it's not at a school for our people, made by our people?
In the home, in the community. It has to start before school.
That's the first school, though.
Yeah.
Your home is your first school.
Right. Yeah. So I'm saying, until we get that foundation, like O said, it's the foundation that's crippling us, because exactly. I'm a firm believer that many of us don't want to see that. I'm scared to see you do better than me. I don't know why. Why it's such a crime for you to do better than me, but I just feel like a lot of us carry that torch. If I can't have it, you can't have it either. Like, come on, they caught us, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
We busted.
Sound like some cool hand Luke. Come on out, Luke. You got us. Yeah. Hey, Seb, are you fixing the break? I just want to make sure you got a couple of minutes. Let me just say this, Seb. It is always glad, man. I always appreciate you coming on to the show. You always bring it on. Arvie gave you a shout out to the last one when you had to exit pretty much, before we, got ready to close out and everything like that. So you never know what you're going to bring to the table. So I just want to know, I appreciate you wholeheartedly, all your thoughts and comments and everything like that. And, I'll have you on again, because you've been on the show multiple times. So I appreciate you. I don't know if anybody got anything to say. He fixed to have to break off.
Yeah, as usual, man. We jab at each other all the time. We go hard. But you my brother, man. And I appreciate your honesty. But more importantly, I appreciate you allowing me to speak my truth. And us not go after each other like, we not brothers. We're going to have disagreements. And again, big shout out again, Wizard. I'm going to keep telling this to you up there with Oprah and stuff. You're doing something that we don't get to do often, man. Too many times, brothers like me and Seven, we'll see each other say something and we won't even break bread because we've been conditioned to believe that if we don't agree, then we should just hate and want to destroy each other. That's not the case at all. And if we can have more brothers and sisters come together, share their opinion or their beliefs, and at the end of the day say, hey, man, I still respect you as a human for what you said. And because you shared something, I see a different aspect that I didn't see before. For me coming up, I'm all good. We don't have to always agree, but we can always learn something from seeing that other side. So, brother, thank you for bringing that. I'm still not going to let you kill up everybody. I'm not letting you do that, brother. But we're going to keep talking. We're going to keep rolling this.
All right, Jack, you want to say anything before you get off?
Yeah, pretty much echo what he was saying, man. It's the first time I had a chance to sit down and chat with you, brother. Definitely a good vibe to chop it up with you. I ain't going to pop nobody, but I put something on your commissary, man.
Hey, man, I want to tell y'all, Orby, man, if you run for president, hey, I'm trying to be your bodyguard, dog.
Hey, 2028, I know nobody gonna touch me with you out there, man.
I'm down.
2028.
I'm not fighting against none of y'all. I'm fighting with all y'all, bro, for real. If I see y'all out in the street, somebody trying to do something to y'all, I'm with y'all.
Man, I got you 6 of them.
All right, Seb, man. We appreciate you, bro. So whatever you got to tap on out. We appreciate you, man.
Much bliss, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Peace,
Seb,
brother.
Seb has been on, and just to put out there to the people that's watching, whether you watching it live right now or you watch it later, I'm always looking for guests to appear on the show. So send me a message. We'll see about getting you on the show. Creed told me about my man Jack because she had been on the show before. So I appreciate him coming on and stuff like that. So I'm always looking for guests. Mr. Taylor, I know you posted something about thoughts a while ago, so we'll have to just give us a little bit more insight on what you're trying to say right there. I'm going to go right here and say I have a couple of other things, but I'm going to see if, Jack, you got something else you want to touch on?
One is kind of was not a problem on this platform because that's what we've been doing as the four of us, but it's brothers having the not wanting to touch hard conversations. Like, yeah, a lot of people don't like to speak on hard conversations. If it's out of their comfort zone, they shut down and stuff like that. And it's like we as men, in particular, black men, have to get a lot more comfortable in having these tough conversations because 9 times out of 10, they stimulate growth.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't gonna create any type of growth, it probably wouldn't be a hard topic to touch on. And so as men, we have to really, really do a better job at being able to engage in those uncomfortable conversations, me included, because I know I'm an ambivert, introvert by nature, but just like to get out in the streets every once in a while. But sometimes, if you see me out in public, I mean, I seen you at that dance a couple weeks ago, Wizzo. I'm off in the cut, just laid back, chilling. I'm out there, but you probably, if Cree wouldn't have said nothing, you wouldn't have noticed me in there because I'm that quiet guy in the room and stuff. And so that's one of the things that I have to work on is, being a little bit more vocal and especially, when you get in those intimate settings with the people that you care for, having those tough conversations, we really have to be able to open up and make ourselves a little more vulnerable and a little more uncomfortable with some of the things we speak on. But, I'll start off by saying for the audience, I can tell you one thing that impact men in particular when it comes to having those tough conversations is that what you share being thrown back in your face. Like if you allow yourself to be vulnerable and that's used against you down the line, it just creates a thicker wall or a taller wall for the next time. You just say I'm all right versus opening up on your issue. So we have to learn how to, be uncomfortable, but also have those conversations with people that we trust, and the people that we say we trust have to learn how to, keep that trust sacred and not violated by throwing things back up in your face.
All right, that's 100. And just before Ari go on and say a few things, first let me go and say, Coach, I got you, Coach. I'll work you in. I got a podcast Wednesday, and I think me and Cree trying to set something up for end of the month. So, Coach, it'll probably be next month because next week I'm in Vegas. So, Coach, I'm gonna try to work you in. Coach been on my podcast before. I went up to Dallas and I was at their studio, STWV studio, and that's one of the guys that they really helped me out a lot with any questions or anything that I have that I were able to reach out to them. They have a podcast, so Lee, I'm gonna get you on there, and we're gonna chop it up again on that right there real soon. OB, what you got on right there? Because I had something else I was gonna say, but I was giving that shout out to Coach. I fucking forgot.
Well, I had another topic that I want to bring in if we got time for it.
Oh, we got time, shit.
I think it's perfect because we got two military veterans, and I wanted to talk about Tim Walt's time in service being questioned because he retired at 24 years and didn't go forward with his unit to Iraq.
Okay. Now,
I'm not familiar with the topic. Honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just give you a synopsis. Tim Walsh just became the vice president, running for vice president elect, and and one of the things that came up was a question about his service, and the rumor mill said that he dropped out or dropped his retirement and left because he didn't want to go forward with his soldiers to Iraq. And he was holding the spot of a sergeant major at that time. And they said that he did that. So since he retired like that, he shouldn't be looked at as a credible leader. As if anything, he should be considered a coward. And I found it funny that some of the people that said he should be a coward served like never 3 or 4 years or never served at all. So, of course, I'm real biased on that. Got some heat on it. But I wanted to hear what y'all thought about it from what y'all heard in the news before I share my points on it.
Okay, Jack, you got something? I got something after that. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I tell you that for one, like I said, I wasn't familiar with that part of it, but I don't have a negative perspective in him making that decision, because I would tell you that when I retired from the military, I retired at 20 years and 6 months. And the thing that caused me to retire is that I felt like I was at a stage where I didn't have 100% to give my soldiers. And I've always said that if I can't give you 100% of me, then I'm doing you a disservice and I should step aside and let the next person come up. I don't know what his reasoning was. You can say he just didn't want to go to war. That's easy for someone to assume. We don't know what sacrifices he made prior to that deployment. But if he felt like he was not in a mindset to be a leader, he did them soldiers he gave them more of a service than a disservice by retiring and stepping aside. So I would honestly commend the person who can do enough self-reflection to know that they're not fit for the job and move aside. And especially someone who's done 20 plus years when you have the majority of this country haven't done a day in the service. So you're going to have to miss me with your opinion on someone if you've never walked in their shoes. So
Right.
that's how I look at it.
And I'll just say this because I don't know much. I've never been in the military like this, but I just from hearing them talk and hearing, I've interviewed guys before. I think you guys have to put in advance when you're going to retire. So I don't think you can just put it in right that day and say, okay, I'm going to retire. So I don't know if he had a
Yeah, listen,
foreseen this building up or something. I don't know.
somebody
But
approved it.
yeah, somebody approved it, and after 20 some years, when Vance or whatever that other motherfucker name is, with that Agent Orange
Sweet
looking
cheeks.
motherfucker, yeah, did done what a 4 years working in wherever, but I'm not gonna knock anybody because I haven't been in, but I'm just saying that you had to put it in way in advance. Somebody
Yeah.
approved it. 20 some years, shit, 24 years, I think he said he did. So
24.
That's his choice. So no, I can't discredit him over that because, like I said, I actually respect him more for stepping aside and giving someone with the honest intent and the drive to lead soldier. Because when you take somebody across the seas, across the water, it's your job to bring them back. And so you should have no distractions or any reservations in doing the job because nobody wants to write that letter to someone's parents or loved one about not bringing that person home. So I have no issue with it whatsoever.
all right, Arvin, just finishing on up. What were you gonna say?
Okay, what I was going to finish up with was you're absolutely right. You can't put it in just like that and get retired. I know Jack heard of stop loss, and as a matter of fact,
Oh, yeah.
when I went over to Iraq, this was the same time Tim Walsh was supposed to go over. So if there's any kind of funny business going on, it would have been a stop loss, and his ass would have went forward. That's point blank. I saw a lot of crime sergeant majors and officers that went over there with me because they thought that they can just drop it at any time. The second thing I had to say about that is that the military can be cold blooded, man. I love my 20 years and 4 months of service. Everything about it, I don't regret it. But it got to a point where I was like, I'm doing myself more harm than good. And for me, it was dealing with PTSD. And one morning, I just simply woke up and said, stick a fork in me, I'm done. I'm not going to have somebody yelling in my face when I know they don't bench press anywhere close to what I'm doing and talking real reckless to me and let them survive that day. And I was getting too comfortable with those thoughts. Um, the other thing about that, when I listened to the Sergeant Major critiquing him, I instantly went back to what's going on in the military right now. This Sergeant Major that was mad about Tim Walsh said, yeah, he went around me to get his paperwork signed. Now, for some people, that doesn't mean stuff. But for me, somebody that's been an equal opportunity advisor, victim advocate, all this stuff, usually if a leader says somebody went around me and they didn't get in trouble, it's because that leader was the roadblock. And a lot of times those leaders are caustic leaders that are really doing a disservice to the whole military. So when I heard this guy say that, I still don't know Tim Walsh or all his issues. I do know that he put in his paperwork because he was running for Senate and he didn't want to do that while he was in uniform. So that was part of it. But when I heard this Sergeant Major trash him for doing 24 years in the military and quitting, I said, that's probably the problem right there. He's probably dealing with a lot of toxic alpha male leaders that think their word is law over regulation, and they still butthurt because he was able to get what he deserved, which was to retire after 24 years. And I want to end this with this. My 20 years and 4 months were great, but before I retired, I had people telling me, you got to stay in. You can't quit. You're a young E7. Even though I've been an E7 for 8 years, they were telling me I can't quit. And when I submitted my paperwork, the sergeant major in question went up to my branch in DC and told them to pull my papers to allow me to retire. I'm not going to get into everything that was said, but after I finished saying what I had to say, my retirement paperwork was approved and I got out. So when we talk about that, I see a bigger picture that's going on even in the military today. We're having a hard time recruiting the numbers that we need and retaining the people in there. And a big part of that is not because jobs are great out here and stuff. It's because there's so much toxic leadership getting away with shit that people are saying, well, I'll just take my chances outside the uniform.
Already, that's what's up.
He was
I'm
able to
gonna
go
just
around the sergeant major. He probably was in a staff position anyway. I don't know what sergeant major is depending on another sergeant major to get their retirement approved. So
Man,
if he is holding a staff position, there was a master sergeant waiting to pick up the reins.
yeah, it's too easy to frock up. I mean, shit. As E7, I did first sergeant position quite a few times.
Yeah, so
The
heard that.
machines.
Right. And I see where Coach was saying, how you get frustrated when people try to talk down on people and they ain't even served. I'll say in a minute, I've never served, but I'm not going to talk down on you guys because, I worked over there at KBR and in Iraq as a contractor, but it still has nothing to, you guys out there in on the front line. I mean, and that's just some shit. So my point is, I'm definitely not going to talk down on it. But JD Vance talking about, Trump's VP. He should be worried, asking, well, Trump, why come he didn't serve or do anything? Or how did, it was a big old deal on him avoiding the draft, avoiding, military and all that.
Mr. Hill Spur, was it Bone Spurs or Hill Spurs?
Yeah,
or something like that?
he can't remember which foot it was, but it was a spur somewhere in there.
Bad feet.
Yeah. So he definitely should say something. But so, guys, what I want to do is I got one. Well, I have several, but I want to talk on this one more. And I want to still give out a shout out to thank all our viewers for watching and all of the comments and questions coming in. I appreciate y'all support. Please like, share, and subscribe. Because here on Barbershop Talk, you never know what the hell you're gonna get. Because we'll start out with one thing, we end up somewhere totally different. Just like on Project 2025, when we talked about that, it ended up with racism, and one of them damn shorts Jack did like 39,000 some views on there. So it was fire. So we don't never know. But I just want to talk to y'all about this, excuse me, about this pot of water. I mean, it's still happening today, even before all of the incidents with George Floyd, all of the blacks getting killed. Here we are in 2024. This just happened, and y'all know what I'm talking about. What's her name? Sonia Massey, if I said that right, getting shot. We all seen it. She called the cops. He pulls out his weapon, shoots her over a fucking pot of hot water. That I guess he feared that she was going to do something with it. But then it also said that his name was Sean Garrison. He's been charged with murder. I saw that the chief has stepped down after he said that he wouldn't. And then also this guy he was discharged from the army. I don't know why. I didn't get to do all the research on that. And he failed to obey. Huh?
It had something to do with alcohol. DUI.
Yeah, and he failed to obey other sheriff's officers in Illinois. But my thing is, I'm saying, and Jag, you may speak on it a little bit too, because I've never been a police officer, wanted to be, never did. But that's back when they was carrying them 357, maybe because I used to like them motherfuckers. I don't know. Wild West. But here it is, it's still happening. She was the one that called them. They in her house, and then she gets shot, and you guys saw the video of kneeling down and shot in the head. So I don't know, as a police officer, can't relate, but all I know is it's still happening today. And I almost thought that it was only white cops doing it to blacks until those other 4 cops did to that one black guy. So, but I'm just asking you, huh?
Yeah, you talking about the ones that was in Memphis where they did that.
Yeah. So I'm just asking you guys, is it gonna ever stop? Go ahead, Jack.
Will it ever stop? Probably not. Should it be lessened? Yeah, I think so. Because as someone who served in law enforcement, fortunately I never witnessed that type of behavior side by side with my peers. So I can tell you that it's not rampant. A lot of people, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. All cops are bad. I don't believe all cops are bad, and I absolutely believe that there needs to be diversity in law enforcement, because if there were not black cops or brown cops or Asian cops, you can only imagine how the situation would be if it was back to the original slave patrol that it started. Yeah. And so yes, but to speak directly on Sonya Massey's situation, I didn't watch the video myself because I tend to shy away from watching stuff like that, because I'm believing protecting my mental health. I can hear the story without seeing the graphics and tell you that was wrong. I think that guy had been released from at least four previous departments based on his behavior. And I will tell you that chief stepped down because they failed when they hired him from the start, and he can see the writing on the wall based on this guy's history. Is a civil. I wouldn't be surprised if previous departments weren't held liable for him still having a license, because just like the military, you have your DD 214. In law enforcement, you have what they call the F5, which is equivalent to the DD 214, which speaks on your history as an officer. So his F5 should have reflected his behavior in previous departments, and his license probably should have been revoked prior to him getting to making a decision like this. So yeah, there's no room in law enforcement for. There's no room in this society for people who think they just have the right to take another person's life just because.
Yeah.
But I hope that family. I mean, it's hard to get justice when to get justice for a life taken, but I hope that family is reconciled and gets some sort of peace in this situation.
All right. OB?
Man, I just want to key in on one thing that Jack said that I take wholeheartedly. I never was a policeman or a cop, but got some good friends that I knew from when we were kids. They've made it to the top of being like marshals and stuff. And I know other cops that I've had interactions with. And I think the big part of this problem is that we do have some bad apples out there, but instead of focusing on how those bad apples get in the bunch, there's a tendency to say, hey, let's just get rid of all cops, or all cops are bad. And I'm just going to put this out there. Anybody that knows me, you're not just going to run up on a cop and do something, even if you think you got him in the wrong. And what I mean by in the wrong, like blindsiding and stuff, without me saying something, because I don't have a problem with taking life. I trained 20 years to shoot cinemas for a reason. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. But I don't believe in doing it just for the fact of doing it. I have the power. And I don't believe that anybody else should have that said power just because they feel a certain way. We have processes and protocol in place. And the people that don't do that, like this one cop in the Massey case, that should be a problem that they build on. He definitely needs to have justice served to his ass in the most extreme way, because the way he did it, I don't think he had fear about the water at all. He threatened her before he shot her. He said, I'll shoot you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he did it, I did watch the video. This is probably not good for my mental health, but I do things to try to exercise my head to keep it balanced. But I did watch the video. And what I saw was a disdain for life. And I saw the same thing in Iraq. People going out there, ready to go out there and light people up, but they don't care if they're kids or women, anything. They just want to have that round go up in there and said they did it. And I saw the same look in that guy's face when he came in. He was talking nice, but you could tell it was a lot of microaggression in the nice conversation. And then he flipped on her like that.
Yeah. It was definitely. I watched the video and I'm like, come on, man, it's still happening right to this day. I mean, that pot of water, she's 10 feet away from him with a pot of water, and he has a gun. Come on, man. But
yeah, he could have created. He should have been trained, and that speaks to a lack of training as well, because not only as a police officer, also on the SWAT team for 8 years. So you train, you create distance to buy yourself more time for decision making. So unless his back was up against the wall while she had that pot of water, he could have created distance and made a safer situation for himself. And so that's why I say that it's many heads gonna roll over that scenario right there, because it's insane how fast the body camera was released. For one, I can't believe that the body cam video came out so soon. So it's like, that lets you know that they prepared to let him suffer the full consequences of his actions. For that body camera video to be released this soon, nobody's set to take a fall, and I feel like it's because of his track record, and two, because just listening to, if I just read the transcript of the video, I know there's an opportunity, should have been opportunity for him to create space and put himself in a safer situation. So like I say, just bless the family, man, is all I can say.
Let me ask you this, Jack, because you're in the military and I've never been in the police force. Don't y'all have rules of engagements, ROE, for certain situations? Because I hear you talking about how, like on the SWAT team, they talk about creating that distance for decisions and stuff. Don't
Right.
regular police officers have some type of ROE that they're
Well,
trained
it's
on?
called it's threat threat levels and not necessarily
Okay.
classified as REs, but it's equivalent to that. You know, you have you should take certain, you know, you can your level of you're supposed to meet force with force unless it's necessary to exceed force. Is the
Mhm.
easiest way to put it.
Okay.
You should the force should not be excessive to the situation. Like I said, with his situation, not watching the video, if there was an opportunity for him to put 2 or 3 feet in him or 4 to 6 feet in him, he should that should have been his first step versus pulling on his gun and popping off.
Yeah.
You know, like you got Mr. Cheeto talking about all this immunity for law enforcement. I don't believe in it. Nobody should have no just bottom line immunity for any job that they do. We all should be held to the same standards as it pertains to paying the consequences for our actions and decisions. So
All right. All right. Well, thank you on that. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go around for any closing comments, and hopefully Jack will talk about that cowboy sign behind him right there, and let us know why he ain't.
what's your mouth? Oh my God, the disrespect, boy, the disrespect.
My bad, Jack.
Well,
I didn't have my
we know where
glasses
he
on.
at. We know where he at. Oh, this y'all year, huh? Yeah, that's what he gonna say next. Oh, this day year.
Yeah, I see I'm laughing and not saying too much because I'm Chicago Bears for life. So
Hey,
Shit.
and I can respect that. At least you have you got something to hope for. This man Wizzo, he just and the thing is, I can tell he's a smart brother. When they say you know better, you're supposed to do better. Come on, Wiz. No,
Oh
but,
shit.
I'm
Okay.
serious.
What you
No, hey
got?
man. No, actually, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on your platform, man. Hopefully, I can get a chance to engage you guys again. Like I said, we can touch on that. Go in a little bit, more in depth on, communicating better as brothers and sisters and stuff like that. Because I think this one thing that I don't like about the social media space that it has found a way to pit us against each other as black men and black women, and we thrive on it almost. It seems, it's we got to do better. Like Seven was talking about, coming together. We got to we got to come together as a community before we can go against the machine. Because until we learn how to really unify with each other and have each other's back, it's going to be that scenario where you talk about somebody's going to want to have the most power and stuff like that, and not look at the greater good. What we're trying to achieve. So, like I said, it starts within the community.
All right. Appreciate it. OB, what you got for us, man, before we get out of here?
hey man, I wholeheartedly concur. Um, Before we can start talking about dismantling the machine, we really got to get that community thing and that togetherness back there. And believe it or not, coming together is rallying against the machine.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah, absolutely.
everything that's put in place is for us to be divided, be indecisive, and they can keep doing the status quo. Everything falls out of place for them when we start putting things together. And again, this is not something that has to be rewritten. All we have to do is look at every community, even during the enslavement times. Every community that did well was a tight knit community. After enslavement, every community that succeeded goals were people that worked together. They were not trying to go out against anybody else. And if we could do that, that's our diamond in the rough. You want to talk about getting the education and stuff? You can educate people when you're together. It's hard to educate people when you got 5, 6 different stories coming at you same time and somebody telling you, oh, that's not your kid. You can't tell them nothing.
Right.
Let's get it together, people.
And we got to be more selective about what we ingest as well. We'll jump on some bullshit in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But if it's a serious topic or something of substance, then we shy away from it. Let's
Yeah.
stop shying away from these hard conversations. I think we all done seen our fair share of twerking, our fair share of all the other
Yeah.
bullshit. Let's talk about
Yeah.
some real shit every now and then and stop running from the serious issues that's going to affect us as a community and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
like
doubt, no
like
doubt.
things like FICO score and owning property. Not all this super investing. I got all that, but just the fact of owning property. And Wizzo, maybe one day
Yep.
we can just talk about community building because, like I told you on one of my chats the last time, I'm not talking about it. I'm doing it. I'm not trying to stay in a rich neighborhood, even though that'd probably be safe for me because I know they don't want me there. But I found some property near my mom that I can take care of and I can cultivate, and that's what I'm doing.
Right. No doubt.
Get
That's what's
life
up.
insurance. Let's
Yeah.
let's start off. Let's get life
Mm,
insurance.
yeah.
Get insurance. Stop these damn GoFundmes and get life insurance on your loved ones.
Yeah. And Jack,
Start
I
there.
have a lady talking about that Wednesday. We gonna be talking about that. I already have a schedule. So you was off in my
Yeah,
notes.
let's
So we're
do
gonna
it. Yeah,
cover that
start
Wednesday.
there.
That's
Let's
a
just
good
get
point.
Yeah.
some damn life
You know,
insurance.
yes, yes. And Ari, before I say my closing comments, just touch on your documentary right quick, briefly, because I want to make sure we get that out there because I really did enjoy watching that a little bit today. So touch on that for a minute before we get out of here.
Okay. I'm doing a documentary called the Survivors Memorial documentary. It's based on the first memorial of its kind in America that's dedicated to survivors of sexual violence. Now, this is something I started working on in April, and I plan to have it wrapped up and finished by April of 2025. And the reason I'm doing this is a couple of reasons. Number one, being that this memorial exists says that somebody gives a damn about survivors of memorial to have them have a place to go to. And number two, we still have a problem. Again, one of those conversations Jack was talking about, what we got to get comfortable with. We still have a problem with predators getting into communities, getting into environments, and pretty much playing everybody to look the other way. I've been doing this sexual violence prevention for decades in the military. And the one thing I can tell you is that there's not a whole bunch of predators out there, but there's a predator that everybody knows, and this person knows how to maneuver the system enough to get away with it. And we got to cut that out. And the way we cut that out is educating, and not educating about how women's supposed to dress or what they're supposed to do, educating about how predators take advantage of individuals and communities. So with this documentary, I don't just want to bring light to it. I also want to get this recognized as a national memorial. And then I'm going to spring off that because I'm going to jump right into what's going into our military right now. I've been out of the military since 2008, but I'm still doing consultant work. And I can tell you right now, you look at the news, we still have a problem with sexual harassment, sexual assault, and even DEI. But going back to the sexual harassment part, that's why I'm doing this documentary, bring attention and to bring more attention to this problem that we have in America, which is sexual violence.
Ari, where is it located at again so they'll let the viewers know?
It is at a park called Boom Island Park. It's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And if you go on Facebook and look up the Survivors Memorial documentary, that's where my website is. I also have a link on Instagram. It's called the Survivors Memorial Doc. And you'll see a picture of the memorial. But you can also see the video that I just released today that I sent you, Wizzo.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. And all you have to do is look up the Survivors Memorial documentary. It should pop up as the first video up there. Because it looks like I'm the only person really doing something on this. And I'm pretty sure once it catch on, everybody gonna do it. But y'all heard it from me first.
Already. You're right, right. No doubt, no doubt. All right, and on that note right there, Jack, did you have anything else? You good?
No, that's it, man. Like I said, I appreciate the opportunity to fellowship with you brothers, man.
Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys wholeheartedly for coming on. Jack, I would definitely reach out to you again. It'll probably be next month. You know, we'll have a barbershop talk episode. Or if you just think of something and say, Wizzo, we want to talk about communication. Well, I'll assemble some brothers up together and then we'll get on there and the topic will be about communication. So if you think of anything that you might want to use this platform for, we're more than welcome to. I reach out. You know, I had two other guys they canceled out, but at least they did tell me, they couldn't make it. So my thing is, you anytime or anything you can think of, let me know. We'll work around. I know people get ready to start watching football, so we probably won't be doing it on Sunday and Monday. So we'll work it out, on those off days up in there. I don't have no set schedule. I work with my guests. And Harvey, most definitely, bro. Harvey, most definitely, bro. Appreciate you because I know you always willing to come on Wisdom Talk and chat. And we just have a good time on here. It's just nothing but love and support communication with one another. And on that note, guys, I'm gonna get ready to get on up out of here. It's always free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna upload this on Spotify also, probably tonight. And so you guys more than welcome to go to YouTube and share the lives, just share and share. And I appreciate it. Like I say, I am not monetized on this, and really didn't start it to get monetized, but I enjoy this wholeheartedly, getting these brothers on. I never met Jack, but he cool as a fan with me right now. So I'll make sure I look for him when I'm up in there dancing at the Ville, wherever again. I'll be looking over in the cut, see if I see him over there. Hey guys, this is Paul Wizzo. Holla at your boy. We'll see you guys next time. We out.